Meeting Fiat means trucks and lorries, large, medium and small, city buses or long-distance coaches, trains, electric locomotives, wagons, coaches, agricultural tractors, earth-moving machinery, forklift trucks, and competition cars for rallies and Formula One racing. Ships' engines, aircraft, machine tools, car components, steel products, gas turbines and nuclear power stations, and infrastructures from dams to motorways, as well as hospitals and housing. Scientific research, and of course, cars. Meeting Fiat then means meeting and getting to know in all its diversified aspects a group with a leading role in the industrial and productive life of yesterday and of today. Not only is the car a typical product of our society, it is also and above all an irreplaceable tool of modern civilization. Today, and more than ever tomorrow, the car represents the most agile and most highly versatile means of transportation. And Fiat stands for cars, not just in Italy, where the company is the country's largest industrial organization, but everywhere in the world. Jointly with other companies, Fiat operates in 27 different countries, with 40 production and assembly plants. Seat, a Fiat associate, is the biggest seller in Spain. Závodní Zveřejné Zástava, another Fiat associate producing cars and commercial vehicles, is the most important metal mechanical complex in Yugoslavia. Fiat's Polish license holder turns out more than 150,000 cars per year. In France, the unique plant, which is now part of Iveco, produces medium-duty trucks. One of the world's biggest car plants was built by Fiat at Tolyatti in the Soviet Union. In Turkey, Turk Tractor, another Fiat license holder, makes tractors, while Tofaş, a Fiat associate, builds cars. Not only are Fiat industrial vehicles and tractors built in Europe and Asia, but also in Africa, in Egypt, Morocco, Ethiopia, and Zaire. And in Latin America, too, the name of Fiat stands for cars, industrial vehicles, agricultural tractors, trains, ships' engines, gas turbines, and rolling stock. With plants at Córdoba, Palomar, Caseros, and Santa Fe, Fiat is the largest private company in Argentina. In Brazil, where the company already produces earth-moving machinery, a large plant is being built to turn out 200,000 cars and over 150,000 engines a year. In addition, an important agreement is underway to manufacture industrial vehicles in the state of Minas Gerais with the co-participation of Alfa Romeo. The name of Fiat has also stood for iron and steel production for more than half a century. Nearly half the output is accounted for by steel ingots for third parties. But of course, most of Fiat-made steel is changed into frames, sheet steel, and engines. Castings in special steel and aluminium are produced for the car industry from highly automated systems in the Crescentino and Carmagnola foundries. Cylinder blocks and the metal parts of engines are made here too. Various body structures take shape on large belts operated by presses with outputs of up to 6,000 tons. The cars begin to take shape and to be given the first breath of life. The various components are welded together by robots and automatic transfer machines. The body shell is completely dipped into a solution of protective paint, then moved to the automatic paint department where it is given its body color. Gradually, the car takes on its final shape as it moves along the assembly lines which run for hundreds of meters. Safety research is an extremely important sector for a large car manufacturer. As many as 500 newly assembled cars are smashed every year, both in the laboratory and on the road. The findings provide technicians, design engineers, and testers with precious information. Each model is given its own identity card, showing the results achieved under the most difficult conditions. A whole series of tests check the functionality and robustness of every single component. These tests are either simulated in the laboratory or run under actual conditions on ice or on desert sand, in the rain or in stifling heat, so as to make sure that every mass-produced car will stand up to any climatic condition and adapt itself to every environment. The testing program goes on. The cars must comply not only with safety standards in the various countries, but also with anti-pollution regulations. This is achieved by checking the level of exhaust gases being emitted into the atmosphere. The same thorough and exhaustive tests are also extended to the Lancia and Autobianchi models, to other prestigious car makes belonging to the group, with plants in Turin, Chivasso, Verone, and Milan. But Fiat stands not only for mass-produced cars, but also for rally vehicles, such as the 1975 World Champion Lancia Stratos, the 1975 European Champion Fiat Abarth 124, and the Fiat Abarth 131 Mirafiori. Through Ferrari, the most prestigious name in the racing car world and the winner with Niki Lauda of the World Championship in 1975, Fiat also stands for Formula One racing. Now, from road to railway. Ever since 1917, the name of Fiat has stood not only for private, but also for public transportation. Motor coaches, alloy carriages, dining and self-service coaches, and underground trains. Conventional production has been gradually strengthened thanks to advanced study projects and developments. This is the variable inclination, multiple stage electric train which can travel at an extremely high speed, even on winding tracks. The space above ground in our congested cities is now at a premium, so Fiat trains make their way underground, while Fiat buses and city and long-distance coaches run through the traffic or on the open road. Fiat has taken an active part in the study of public transport systems, thus contributing to the attempt to solve the problem of traffic congestion with all its negative effects on community life. Fiat also stands for commercial and industrial vehicles, light, medium and heavy, a sector which has now attained a primary importance both in highly industrialized and in developing countries. Fiat has strengthened this sector by entering into an agreement with Klockner-Humboldt-Deutz, which has led to the establishment of Iveco, a holding company combining 5 different makes under one single heading: Fiat Veicoli Industriali, OM Lancia Veicoli Speciali, Unique, and Magirus Deutz. This organization has 16 plants in the common market with an annual output capacity of over 100,000 vehicles. The policy of Iveco is to build industrial and commercial vehicles to a high standard of engine performance, stability, safety, and comfort, and complying with the most diversified operating requirements. These vehicles, too, are subjected to the same exhaustive and thorough testing to check their suitability for every type of transport and road conditions. Some of them are giants of the road that can be driven in any latitude, in the savannah or on motorways, as well as on the dockside, in town, and on work sites. Fiat stands for agriculture and for machines working in the fields. Europe's first wheel tractors were Fiats, and so were the world's first crawler tractors. An extremely wide series of tractors with different power outputs and a range of duties for work on different types of land and for different crops. The latest products of technology at the service of man's oldest occupation. Fiat stands for earth-moving machinery. With the establishment of Fiat Alice, Fiat has become one of the world's leading manufacturers in this sector as well, with plants in Italy, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Brazil. Its 40 basic models, from small dozers to giant scrapers, some of the most powerful machines for digging, moving, leveling, and settling the ground, are exported to 125 different countries throughout the world. Fiat stands for forklift trucks. Ranging from small models to large, they make work easier in the warehouse or external shipping areas, no matter how spacious or restricted the area. In an effort to diversify its activity in the most varied production sectors, and so to comply with all the ancillary requirements of the motor industry, Fiat, together with its associated companies, has achieved a high level of efficiency in the components sector, which now includes the production of dynamos, carburetors, steering wheels, dashboards, batteries, fuel tanks, sparking plugs, and so on. A large spare parts warehouse has come into operation at Volvera near Turin in order to ensure a steady supply. 80,000 different components and the possibility of withdrawing 25,000 different pieces per day with the help of computer-controlled automatic translators, trans-robots, and mechanized scaffolding coordinated by a central computer. With its 2 lubricant production plants, Fiat is able to satisfy all its motoring and industrial requirements both at home and abroad. Fiat stands for Design, Construction and Plant, which means the study and the realization of civil engineering works, plants and public housing development. Since 1971, Fiat has been involved through Fiat Engineering in the housing development and plant construction sector. And through Impresit, an associated company, in the implementation of public works, namely dams, hydroelectric power stations and motorways, as well as sports facilities, land reclamation and irrigation schemes, homes and hospitals, both in Italy and abroad. Fiat stands for aviation. Starting in 1908, Fiat has been building aircraft either independently or in cooperation with other companies. The new company, a joint Fiat and Finmeccanica IRI undertaking, has to its credit, among others, the G91Y, an aircraft mainly for military use, the G222, a conventional propeller turbine engine aircraft, and the RB199 for the variable geometry MRCA. And then ship, rail and power engines. Small and large vessels are propelled by 2- and 4-stroke Fiat diesel engines with individual outputs of up to 50,000 horsepower, built by Grandi Motori Trieste. Gas turbines, a rapidly expanding sector capable of meeting the world's growing demand for power. 90% of production is for export. Fiat stands for research. The position of Fiat in this sector is preeminent. The breadth of its commitment, activities and extensive planning are made possible by the availability of some of the most sophisticated and most complete facilities in existence today. From physics to chemistry, from electronics to metallurgical development, optimal conditions were created for ensuring competitiveness at both the technological and economic level. Applied research has enabled Fiat to develop new types of propulsion, from the turbine engine to electrical engines for cars. Fiat stands for nuclear power. Since 1958, Fiat has steadily expanded its commitment to this sector, both in the project stage and in technical coordination and development. For the safeguarding of the environment, a big effort has been made by Fiat to modernize and restructure its working and external environment, carrying out at the same time continuous checks on the atmosphere and water courses by means of stationary or mobile installations. And finally, wherever possible, innovations have been introduced in methods of organizing work. The car is clearly not the only achievement to the credit of Fiat during its 75 years of corporate existence. Today, just as yesterday, Fiat has always shown its determination to extend its scope and apply its skills and experience to other expanding industrial activities. Confidently relying on its personnel and backed by the strength of its industrial facilities, Fiat is moving steadily forward towards the future, a future that will involve all those who work for Fiat.